Hello everybody, and welcome into this LEGO MOC showcase. Today I have for you a World War II MOC depicting a raid in occupied France by a combined force of French resistance fighters and British paratroopers. A German commander tries to direct his forces as the bombed-out farmhouse they are using as a command post comes under attack by a team of Allied fighters. I present to you, Supporting the Resistance. Built on a fairly thin 64x16 baseplate, the inspiration for this MOC came from a nearly 20-year-old video game, Call of Duty 3. I began with trying to find a build idea to include these amazing British paratrooper figures, and I eventually landed on creating a MOC that included them as well as a seldom seen in LEGO Allied force, the French Resistance. The bombed-out farmhouse took elements of those found throughout many World War II era Call of Duty games, as well as the one during the sniper sequence of Saving Private Ryan. As I usually do with many of my builds, I decided to use dark tan as the base color of the build to represent the dirt found throughout Europe, including France. To reflect a more muted color palette, I used exclusively olive green plant stalks and plates for the shrubbery surrounding the building and vehicle parking area. I also used olive green for the vines covering the remains of the house, which I feel like is so iconic for this region of the world, as well as dioramas and other representations of the buildings seen in this part of the war. The trees used dark green leaves to continue the muted color palette, as well as stand out from the olive green used throughout the rest of the build. The two vehicles are digital instructions from Brickmania. The canvas truck cover comes with a sticker pack offered to go along with the build for the Opel Blitz. The house itself is a basic two-story box with a large portion blown away from what I imagine to be either artillery or a bomber's payload. To really make the building pop, I chose medium nougat as the primary color for the structure with light bluish gray as the accent color. I felt like this combo looks both period appropriate as well as natural for the rest of the build's color scheme. For the windows, I used a combination of trans-clear slopes, plates, and round plates to get the jagged edges of windows blown out by a large internal explosion. The large area of the house that has been blown away was definitely the most difficult part of the MOC to figure out. I used a variety of influences, like I said before, to figure out just how I was going to do it. I landed on using slopes in some areas and flat-studded plates in others to really get it to a point I was happy with. The walls for the exposed room are just tan bricks spaced with dark tan plates to recreate one of those 1940s simplistic wallpapers. Within the room is an assortment of rubble from the brick walls as well as wood planks and beams from the interior and the ceiling that separates the main room from the attic. In addition to the debris, I also have a dresser I designed using mostly tiles and brackets with jumper tiles to resemble drawers. The bed I used is taken directly from the Harry Potter No. 4 Privet Drive set. Armed with an MG42 and a few crates of supplies, two German soldiers stand guard with one enjoying a chocolate bar while the other points towards the attacking force attempting to help his NCO. The attic is tiled reddish-brown with a few support columns and the shattered remnants of a wooden planked floor. As you can see, I used hinges to attach the roof to the house and get that proper roof angle. For the design of the roof, I went with a black shingled look, using a ton of black cheese slopes. I think it looks good, but it's a little bit too uniform for my liking. To achieve the randomness of the bombed-out layers of the house, I attached various reddish-brown plates and tiles with clips to get down angles or just rotated one-point connections to get those crisscrossed angles for the planks. Although it makes for a pretty delicate design, it does tend to look really good and it can kind of add some of that randomness that's really difficult to achieve with LEGO. The house as a unit is constructed on its own base with a light bluish gray foundation with a slight offset to create about a half-stud lip. The piled up dirt around the house, represented by the dark tan wedge plates, is actually connected to the house assembly itself. I wanted the house to appear nestled within the dirt and not just simply sitting on top of it. So that I could get the angle for the house, I took the completed house and base and placed it on a tiled off area of the MOC. Thanks to the design, style, and color, I feel like the house sits pretty naturally on the MOC despite being fairly separate, at least design-wise. To round out the area of the farmhouse, I included a wood pile outside the front door, a barrel with equipment along the side, and a variety of debris and chunks of house in the surrounding area. I also included a German machine gun, an ammo crate, and tripod legs. The edge of the MOC is surrounded by a low brick wall with some moss and a little bit of greebling to add a bit of texture just to those plain masonry bricks. The German and British figures are all from the Minifig Co., and the French Resistance figures are just fig barfs of official LEGO parts that to me looked period appropriate, as most Resistance fighters wore standard French clothing for the period. The weapons are all from Brickmania, either standard brick arms like the MP40s or perfect caliber printed products like the Kar 98s or SMLE rifles. Overall, I was super proud of this MOC when it all came together. The house and the vehicles look great together, and I feel like the posing of the figures really breathes some life into the action, which is really what I wanted to represent. Thank you so much for watching this MOC showcase today. If you enjoy this kind of content, I would love a sub so you don't miss any new videos. If you'd like to see what I'm up to currently, I post all of my new MOCs as well as a lot of work in progress kind of pictures on Instagram, so if you're interested in that, check me out. Thank you, and I will catch you in the next video.